Grumpy Grandad meets Olly.
There was a scientist to correct you, wasn't it?
Biggest model in our range in this horsepower.
Mental.
Mental
I'm about
health.
90% mental and about 10% normal.
How do we raise the bar?
Hey guys, so we're just here outside the combine.
Welcome to Ceres Machinery. I am Martin Johnson.
Machinery's out.
Edit that bit out.
Around seeing famous people, but yeah, how are you? Yeah.
Tractor of the Year gets looked at by a panel of independent judges.
We've got something else to have just a quick look at before we go.
Hey, we're here at 1 o'clock, you know, no one.
This is the first time we've shown that in cereals.
I don't know what they hit. You know, what did you hit? You think I'm better on YouTube than you are? 2 people turn up to see us.
I'm so happy.
Welcome to Cereals 2023 then. We're on the Ceres Machinery stand.
The Delta Force steel booms are...
And I just did a little introduction today. Hopefully Anna and Grumpy Grandad will be here shortly. We've already had bacon. Emily's made us a couple of cups of tea. Martin's given me a rundown on all the machinery. I'm a salesman today.
What you see now is the twins.
So I'm a bit nervous about Martin's
spray when needed.
machinery, so here you go.
I feel like I look like a tourist. Ooh, where are we going today?
I want to go to all the wheat varieties and stuff like that.
Standing.
Specific areas required with the integrated 50-50 weight distribution over the axle. The range of self-propelled spray.
Yeah.
Welcome to Ceres Machinery.
You look posh.
I am Martin Johnson.
So Dad, how are you today? Answer as a percentage. How are you feeling today? Because it's all about mental health.
Percentage?
Yeah.
Mental.
Mental
I'm
health.
about 90% mental and about 10% normal.
Hi, how's it going?
Grandad.
Grumpy Grandad meets Olly.
Your passion with raising funds for good causes, because next on stage is Olly Harrison, and Olly drove that big fantastic machine from John O'Groats to Land's End, and to raise awareness of men's suicide and mental health. Hand you over now to Olly, ladies and gentlemen.
Woo! Crowd goes wild.
Just me agronomist clapping, John. Yeah, I think everyone thought I was over on the other stage, including myself, so I ran over there, then had to run back. But yeah, it seems weird talking to an empty field, but then I spend most of my life talking to an empty phone. I think a lot of people I want to hear about driving a combine 940 miles in 4.5 days, or 4.2. The idea behind it was, so a friend of mine took his life 7 years ago, and he had a massive passion for combines, and one of the last times I saw him was when I went looking at my new combine. Come to harvest, and they were getting the combine ready for harvest, and James, who works for the dealership, I was telling him the story. He said, oh, you know, when I come to look at it, you know, I was with my friend David, he's not with us anymore, and he said, oh, my friend did the same thing, and he had 2 kids and that, and we were like, you know, we need to do something about this. The easiest thing people could do is talk and, you know, not get themselves in a mess. So I said, well, what we should do is drive a combine from John O'Groats to Land's End. So we set some dates. John, who's over there now, he's one of the other drivers. There was 4 of us that did it. He used to work for my friend David as well. He decided that the easiest way to do it was have 1 support car to escort it, 1 combine, and we were going to take the header originally. We said that we needed to take the header, otherwise someone would say it wasn't a complete combine. What we decided to do was actually just get the header to join us on odd bits of the route, because logistically it added a lot of cost, because not only do we have to drive it from John O'Groats to Land's End, we had to get it back. We had to get it up to John O'Groats, and then we had to get it back from Land's End. So there was a massive cost to that, but good enough, to be fair. Class did that. The question now is, what do we do again? How do we raise the bar and do something even more impressive? We wanted people to get talking about mental health, and I think we did that. It was brilliant. We've had so many messages of support. We've had so many emotional people talk to us afterwards.
And you said you felt like you'd really made a difference. How important is it to get people kind of talking about this?
It's massive. I mean, I think as it stands now, we've raised 82,000 to combine between mine charity and Children with Cancer. And people, that's the first question they ask. Oh, you know, what's the funds like? You know, how much have you raised? And to me, it's how many messages we've had that people have. I mean, just 2 examples of people saying, you know, they were watching what we were doing. They've been really struggling for a long time, and because they were watching what we were doing and sat with the wife watching it, they found that they could open up and talk about how they'd been. And, you know, and one guy he said he'd been struggling for 6 years, and in the previous few months he'd been looking at ways to take his life. And he said, I just broke down in front of my wife, and watching the video, and I feel like a weight's been lifted, and she's going to support me and we're going to get help, and you just think we potentially saved her life there. One of the main things you can do if you get in that place is talk, and it's the biggest lie in the world to say I'm fine. Everyone says, oh, how are you? Oh, fine. Well, if you answered as a percentage, how are you? I'm 100%, I'm 80%. I'm only 80%, I'm still knackered.
Any questions?
Yeah. What was the feedback from the public along your way? Did you create huge queues, or were they very understanding?
We were really surprised, to be honest, that we didn't particularly cause any queues. I mean, we were aware that we didn't want any bad press, so if we did see more than 5 or 6 cars and they'd been behind us for more than a few minutes, we'd slow down or pull over. But we heard the horn beep once that probably could have been an aggression, but when we looked, it was basically one car was overtaken at the same time another car wanted to, and they were beeping at each other, not us. So if you imagine the second car behind went to overtake before he let the first. But nothing at all, couldn't believe it. Everyone was cheering, waving. We encouraged people to go out and hold signs up how they were feeling that day, and they did that and more besides. I mean, they were turning out with tractors and combines and everything they can get their hands on to make the biggest signs they could. A sprayer all down the boom. One guy had got 2 combines on a bridge that we were going underneath. Another farm not far from Ceres said they got like nearly the whole fleet on the field. That was pretty incredible, to be fair. It's something that we didn't really expect, and then people beeping and waving. Even before we'd got to John O'Groats, there's a guy holding a sign up in the window saying I'm 100%, and he was a guy doing it on a moped. The same run like he's setting off a few hours after us. But it's just incredible, really, that who was out there, and then the radio station, the TV got really behind it as well. So that helped, and people then were aware what we were doing.
Good question.
Were there opportunities, you said about kind of raising the profile and being involved with the public, were there opportunities to talk to them about not just, I guess, mental health, but farming in general, and kind of discuss we're not always the most popular people on the roads?
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, what we didn't want to do is just say that farming has got the highest suicide rate, or at least it used to. We didn't want to be non-inclusive. Mental health's a big problem for everyone in the country. Length and breadth of it, and everyone's got their own things that get them down. I mean, our main one's the weather, really, and prices. But it's not just us. So we didn't really bang the farming drum. We didn't need to. We were on the biggest agriculture machine you can get. That was one of the things that the press always tried to steer us down, saying, oh, agriculture, and we were like, well, yeah, but it isn't just us, it's everyone.
Are there any other questions out there?
John's got one. I think he's coming for the mic. No.
I know the answer to this, but can Olly elaborate as to how much he's raised, and perhaps just remind anyone here who has not already donated how they can do so?
Oh, right, yeah, okay. Yeah, so John just asked how much we've raised and how can people donate. So far with the on and offline donations, I think we're around 82,000, but there is a QR code on the side of the combine, and if you just Google sort of like combine challenge, you'll probably find it on Just Giving, and we're encouraging people to do it online, because that way then you can do the gift aid as well if you can afford, and then it doesn't cost you any more, but it comes a little bit off your tax. So I think at the moment the gift aid's 10,000 quid, which is amazing. Yeah, so I'm not 100% today, but I might ask you that, and you might say, well, I'm only 70 because this is bothering me, and that's what we need to do. Just be a bit more honest with each other.
What was the feedback from the public along your way? Did you create huge queues, or were they very understanding?
We were really surprised, to be honest, that we didn't particularly cause any queues. I mean, we were aware that we didn't want any bad press, so if we did see more than 5 or 6 cars and they'd been behind us for more than a few minutes, we'd slow down or pull over. But we heard the horn beep once that probably could have been an aggression, but when we looked, it was basically one car was overtaken at the same time another car wanted to, and they were beeping at each other, not us. So if you imagine the second car behind went to overtake before he let the first. Nothing at all, couldn't believe it. Everyone was cheering, waving. We encouraged people to go out and hold signs up how they were feeling that day, and they did that and more besides.
I know the answer to this, but can Olly elaborate as to how much he's raised, and perhaps just remind anyone here who has not already donated how they can do so?
Oh, right, yeah, okay. Yeah, so John just asked how much we've raised and how can people donate. So far with the on and offline donations, I think we're around 82,000, but there is a QR code on the side of the combine, and if you just Google sort of like combine challenge, you'll probably find it on Just Giving,
and we're encouraging people to do it online, because that way then you can do the gift aid as well if you can afford, and then it doesn't cost you any more, but it comes a little bit off your tax. So I think at the moment the gift aid's 10,000 quid, which is amazing.
Hey guys, so we're just here outside the combine that Ollie took from you will have just seen on the video, we just saw him doing a talk about that, but yeah, we're just saying hi with him, having a bit of a catch up. He's just met me and Grumpy Grandad. That's the first time we've met. We've spoken loads, haven't we? Literally spoken loads, but haven't actually met each other yet. So just having a catch up, and we'll see you guys in a bit. Dad saw a guy talking
ADM wheat trials.
ADM wheat trials, and he said there was a guy that was so interesting, and he was just going to try and have a catch up with him. What are we looking at, Dad?
Wheat varieties.
Dad, where are we?
We're talking on the RAGT stand with David. I'll look at the sign. BYDV.
You get it wrong otherwise,
I will.
You?
I always get it the wrong way around. What it is, why it's bad, and how they're breeding it into existing varieties to make them resistant to it.
All right, cool. Yeah, that'd be great.
David, please.
Sure, yeah. So BYDV is a virus that affects our cereal plants. It's a bit of a yield robber, often sitting at low levels within your crop. Often the typical symptoms in wheat and barley you might see in the UK is the yellowing, maybe red-tipped ears, followed by plant stunting in more severe cases. And this is a virus which is transmitted by aphids primarily in the autumn time. And what we have on this stand today is we have some genetics which we've bred into our varieties to try and combat the variety.
So is this GM engineering, or?
It is not, no. So this was a resistance.
That's the bad one. Yeah, we need the good one.
This is a resistance found in an old wild goat grass that spent 30 years trying to move it across into wheat, and because we don't get BYDV pressure every year, it's hard to track when we did have it. So we needed the genetic tools to be able to. It was very much a look and don't touch approach. It's looking for the resistance that occurs naturally, and once we had some markers and tools which helped us find it, we could spot it every year, regardless of if we had the disease pressure or not. And that means that we can accelerate it into our breeding programs, but also while checking it under BYDV, under virus pressure, under viral load, which is what the trial is behind us. And you can see the difference between varieties that don't have the virus resistance and varieties that do have the virus resistance. So, and because the whole premise of this is alleviating the need to spray autumn insecticides, which not only kill our beneficials, but there's a bit of a blanket approach to spraying. We lost the seed treatment.
Yeah, we lost the seed treatment.
We lost the deter seed treatment.
And also quite costly for the farmer.
Exactly.
Costly, it can be time consuming, especially when it was treated on the seed. That was it. No more treatments needed, usually. So if they can breed it in, that'll be better. The supermarkets, everybody's asking for insecticides not to be used. I'm asking for insecticides not to be used because I have to pay for them.
Yeah.
Have we got some examples here we can visually see the difference?
So within this trial we've had virus pressure but no insecticides, but everything's received the normal fungicide regimen you'd expect for growing a winter wheat. And on the right hand side is one of our varieties, RGT Stokes, the skyscraper stays, and you can see the level of symptoms in these varieties. Heavy stunting, it's not helped out here because it's a bit drier, but heavy stunting, very undulating, and the typical yellowing within the crop.
Heads like that, for example.
And shriveled heads.
Shriveled heads, smaller heads instead of good big heads. They all should be like that, you see.
Whereas the set behind you are effectively a similar background to the ones opposite, but with the BYDV resistance genetics within. And although it's not immunity, it's very important for us to show these side-by-side demonstrations to show the very, very good direction of travel which this then provides.
Grouse is available now?
Grouse will be commercially available for drilling 23, so that's a hard teed with both BYDV resistance and OBM midge resistance. So that's the successor to Wolverine, which is on the recommended list, which was our first stab at
OBM is orange blossom midge.
Creating that. Orange wheat blossom midge resistance.
Okay. There was a scientist to correct you, and you get it wrong.
A newer variety we've got in the pipeline, which sat here as a code, that will be called Goldfinch, our latest quality wheat spread making variety. So it should be a Group 1 coming through in the coming years after that. And again, it will have the BYDV resistance and the orange wheat blossom midge resistance as well. Yeah.
So yeah, just before we go, how can people get in touch if they want to know a bit more?
So get in touch through the website, and I think we have a WhatsApp Growers Club as well, which is available through there. So that's RAGT's UK website.
Okay, cool.
And yeah.
Amazing. Thank you so much. We really appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Dad's just going to carry on wandering around all the wheat and looking at all the different soil bits and pieces. I'm kind of more interested in getting the machinery. So, look at Zurn, we're with George. He's just going to show me just a couple of new bits that they've got here at Cereals today. So, what are we going to go look at?
We've got the Interrow hoe here, which is a nice display model here.
It's always popular to look at, isn't it? It's quite.
It is.
It must be quite a talking point.
It is, yeah, and you don't want to watch it for too long. I've got our top cut collect here, which you tried last year. That's been going well. We're starting to get more out sold and in the field.
Yeah.
People using them.
Okay, cool.
And we've also got our seed terminator.
All right.
Hammer mill for the back of a combine. So any weed seeds, volunteer seeds, going off the sieves on a combine, it will completely destroy them. Blackgrass is a real issue this year.
Yeah,
it's been a bad year for it.
Yeah. Managed to find Grandad. I feel like I just can't do this flying solo. I don't know enough of what I'm talking about, so I found Grandad. Yay! Let's go see who we can chat to on what stands, see what new machinery's out.
Edit that bit out.
You wonder where Daniel gets it from?
Look where we got to go, look.
Oh my goodness.
Some air into my pants and out of my pants. Jesus Christ.
Is it that hot, Dad?
Damn.
How much do you reckon it's worth? Yeah.
100 plus.
Really?
Grumpy Grandad.
Yeah, just wander around seeing famous people, but yeah, how are you?
Famous people.
Yeah, famous.
Infamous.
Famous for us anyway. We watch a lot of YouTube. How are you?
Very good, thank
Yeah,
you.
good. Yeah, is there anything at the show that you like? Anything that you...
There's lots and lots of things that I like here, but
Can't
yeah.
afford any of them.
we need to get a bigger
Get
checkbook.
subscribing to Joe.
Yeah.
I'll film
Filming you.
Yeah.
So, are you enjoying it, guys?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Weather's superb.
It is, isn't it? Well, check these guys out,
Yeah.
on YouTube. Grumpy Grandad, I love it. Grumpy Grandad. We ought to get one of them for Big Mick. Grumpy Mick.
Hey, no cooking.
No,
We need to
Grumpy
pay
is
it now. We need to
trademark.
pay it, don't we?
Grumpy's trademark. I don't know if they're going to run it or not.
Lost him now. He's found someone to talk farming with, which is great, but yeah. But yeah, really nice to say hi to Joe. A bit bigger than Little Red.
This is your current track.
Different colour red they've gone to now, haven't they?
Yeah.
It's almost maroon, isn't it?
Yeah. What do you guys think? It's a little bit different to Little Red, but do you like the colour they've gone to, or prefer Little Red's colour?
With auto nozzle control.
So we're here with Ben at the McCormick stand, and he's just going to talk us through what they're called.
So welcome to McCormick at Cereals 2023. It's a glorious hot day here at Thoresby Estate. On the McCormick stand this year we've got a wide range of horsepowers, starting with the tractor of the year in the best utility segment, the X6415. This range of tractors goes from 130 to 150. We then move up to the X7 range, which is a range of 4 and 6 cylinder tractors in this new versions that we've got here with our new styling and our fantastic new bonnet decals. These tractors are fitted with an FPT engine and a ZF transmission, giving us 30 by 15 transmission. Very reliable, well built, full of high quality European components. And then our biggest tractor on the stand today we've got is the X7624, 240 horsepower. This is an absolute workhorse and one of our best selling models. This is fitted with a ZF CVT transmission, so it's a completely seamless transmission. This gives us 240 horsepower and is now actually one of our best selling tractors. All our tractors today are finished in the Red Spirit livery, which gives us the fantastic metallic paint, black wheels which really makes the tractors stand out. So a very modern looking range of tractors, and we're just delighted to be back at Ceres on such a sunny day.
So what makes a tractor of the year?
Tractor of the Year gets looked at by a panel of independent judges from all across all of Europe. So they look at build quality, features and benefits such as engine, transmission, drivability, lots of features in terms of cab, in terms of technology. So that we've got a tractor there that's fully enabled with GPS steering systems, Isobus technology, remote diagnostics, telemetry, everything's fitted to the tractor. So it was voted by a panel of judges across the whole of Europe, and we're delighted for the second time in 4 years we've won in that category.
Well done, you guys. You guys must be really delighted and proud about that.
Absolutely. You know, we're into year 4 of a 5-year project here in the UK to turn McCormick around. Yeah. We've put in a whole brand new team. We've strengthened our distribution massively with new dealers, and we are very much on the up. So it's a good time for our McCormick brand here in the UK.
Thank you
Thanks
so much.
ever so much.
Really,
Thanks
really
for stopping by.
Thank you.
All right,
Have
take
a good
care.
Day. Bye.
Nice leather seat, isn't it?
Yeah.
Leather theming, that's a good idea, putting a bit in the middle like that, yeah. You're in it a long while, you see, people are in there thousands of hours.
Oh dear, if you break it, you've got to pay for it.
That's right.
There you go. Is this new then?
It's brand spanking new, yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean, it says new. Is this new
I don't
to
know whether
market?
it's a new model, I don't know.
So we are here at New Holland with David.
We've got what we call a T7 300 here, which is the long wheelbase tractor. This is the biggest model in our range in this horsepower sector. So this one is 280 horsepower maximum, 300 horsepower boosted. Yeah, it's in a compact wheelbase. It's the one with the new generation cab on, so it's got the nice new armrest inside the cab, the Sidewinder Ultra as we call it. So it's the new Sidewinder cab. And the thing really about this tractor, and when we look at it, the new HD, it's really configurable. It's configurable to the operator in what we can set in the way of switches inside the cab, what we can do with it. It's a very nice place to be. Very quiet in there as well, 66 decibels inside the cab, which is the quietest on the market, it really is. So, yeah, so the T7 300, the best bit about this, obviously 300 horsepower, it runs in around about 28.3 kilograms per horsepower, so it's got good power to weight ratio. Yeah, so again, brilliant in the market, and as you can see, it's a compact kind of design. Runs a 6.75 litre engine, which is common, which is our own internal engine. It's common through all of our New Holland products, the 6.75 litre engine. And what we do is we change things like electronic variable turbocharger or kind of a fixed turbocharger, or we've got different cooling packages on there as well to kind of take the heat away. So that's kind of some of the main differences. This one, because it's the 300, it's the top model, it's auto command, so a CVT transmission only. Yeah, so that's the only option with that. But the smaller models, you can have full power shift, or you can have the CVT transmission as well.
Just
yes, okay, yeah.
The variable transmission.
Yes.
Yeah,
you would have anything else, I don't know.
No, exactly. Everybody in this horsepower sector seems to favour the auto command transmissions. And then this one here, so this is what we call a HD range.
Yeah.
So the HD range is slightly different to the long wheelbase in that the tractor is slightly heavier. It's designed for different applications, more heavier tillage. This is more of a universal tractor, it's more of a heavy tillage. In that, if you look, the front axle's a lot stronger. Okay, so the front axle comes from the smaller T8, which is the bigger brother again. The engine sits into like a car chassis, so it sits onto a bathtub in effect, so it puts a bit more weight onto the tractor as well. So this would be about another 2 tonne heavier than what this tractor would be when it comes to overweight. But you can see it's a lot bigger tractor.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cab is exactly the same, so they share the same common cab, the same common layout.
Yeah.
Obviously with this, there's 3 models in this range. There's a 290, a 315, and then this one here, which is the 340. So this is the top of the range of the tractor.
Bigger capacity engine or not?
No, so this runs exactly the same 6.75 litre engine as what this one does. Has an electronic variable turbocharger, has a different cooling pack, different obviously injectors, has slightly different pistons in to what this one does, just to take the heat. But yeah, they're literally the same engine block. The engine block, out of interest, goes.
So if somebody says it's the same engine, it's not. It is, but it's
not.
It
is. The block.
It's beefed up.
It's beefed up. Yeah, to take the power. Yeah.
And these are both available now?
Yeah. So this one's available now. This one's just been launched. So we can order this one, configure this one now as well.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Amazing. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay.
Thanks. You did great on camera as well. So we were just about to head off, and we've got something else to have just a quick look at before we go. So yeah, David's just going to show us the methane. Am I getting that right? Methane tractor. Yeah. Okay. Cool.
This is the T6 methane tractor, and as you can probably guess, the tractor runs on gas.
Yes.
So that's one of the predominant differences of the tractor. You'll see in there's 3 90-litre tanks, which is what we call a range extender. There's also further tanks dotted around the tractor. So in here we've got 2, and then we've got 3 horizontal underneath here.
Right.
So if you dropped in there, you can't quite see, but they're laying down sideways. There's a pressure gauge, and this is the filling point as well.
Right.
So
it uses for all of them, or just
filling point for all. So one fill point it's called an NGV1, which is a natural gas vehicle 1 filling point, which is the same as a van or whatever. So it's a standard filling point. And it fills all tanks. So when you turn the key on, it takes all gas from all of the tanks. It drains them equally. So yeah. Again, we talked about the 6.75 litre engine in the diesel.
Yeah.
It's exactly the same 6.75 litre block. The only difference being is it's got a cylinder head which is different, which has got gas injectors in and spark plugs. Yeah. So we have to ignite the gas. And if you lifted the bonnet, you'll see it's got a water-cooled turbocharger just to take some of the heat out. Round the other side, we've got more gas tanks. So on a diesel tractor, underneath the exhaust pipe, you'd have what we call an SCR, a selective catalytic reduction chamber, which is where all of the magic happens to clean up the exhaust emissions. You don't need it on here because we reduce our emissions from a gas tractor to a diesel by about 80%.
Wow.
So this runs a lot cleaner, a lot cleaner than what a diesel tractor does.
Yeah. This has got to be where the world's headed, really, isn't it?
Exactly. So alternative fuels has got to be the way forward.
Yeah. New Holland leading the way.
Pioneering the way.
Do you go natural gas or do you go hydrogen?
The difference being, if we look at the gases, at the moment you can fill this up from a biodigester. Yeah. You can maybe cap a slurry pit for a partner Benneman, where we can take the gas from slurry and then in effect you've got free fuel.
Produce it on farm.
Yeah, you've got it on farm, you can produce it on farm. You can take it out of the gas grid. The UK is covered by a gas grid. If you really need to, you can take it out of there. So gas is in abundance. We can get to it. Hydrogen is not so much in abundance at the moment. You need to produce hydrogen, and it's not cheap. Okay, you can get green hydrogen, wind turbine, solar panels, but you've then got to transport it. So at the moment we feel this is the best way forward with the natural gas, or with the gas from a biodigester, or from slurry to power a tractor.
With all those tanks?
Yeah.
How long can that run?
So this will last around about 8 hours.
How long's a piece of string?
Yeah, how hard you drive it. Average is around about the 8-hour mark.
Driving characteristics compared with the diesel?
Exactly the same. So if you compare exactly the same, a T6 180 diesel compared to a T6 180 methane, it's the same rated power, the same maximum power, the same torque in 740 Newton meters. It's exactly the same.
Sounds good.
And can I just ask, we don't have to say, but price-wise similar?
Slightly higher than a diesel. But within probably the first year, you'd get that money back in the saving on fuel.
On the running cost just alone, like what would the running costs compare? Do you know that yet, or is it too soon to say?
Off the top of my head, I don't know.
Okay, no, that's fine.
But it will be cheaper to run than a diesel tractor. It depends on how you produce your gas. If we talked about the slurry pit,
that could be a holistic thing.
That could be waste gas. You could class that as free fuel. If you're actually producing gas from a biodigester, you may cost your gas out somehow. So it really depends on how you produce your gas.
There's plenty of biodigesters about.
There is.
Yeah. Amazing. Thank you so much.
Yeah, okay, no worries.
I'm glad we didn't miss this. A silly question.
Yeah.
Does it make it heavier?
The tractor?
Than diesel?
No, it's a little bit, not a massive amount, because normally you would have a front weight on a diesel tractor.
Yeah.
So that's slightly lighter than this. Weighs about 800 kilograms, whereas the front weight is normally 1 ton, 1,000 kilograms. Bearing in mind we've got an SCR which is taken away from here, you'll get a little bit of weight in the gas tanks the other side, because we've taken away a plastic diesel tank and you put, so yeah, it's going to be a little bit but not massively heavier.
Yeah, okay.
Must be a party, I want.
Dad, I remember that.
Remember you trying to get into it?
I remember that from Lama. So we're just on the Fendt stand. Me and Dad are talking to Ed, and he's just going to tell us all about what's new and what they've got.
What we've got on our stand that might be different, you might not have seen before. Basically, we've got our brand new Fendt 728 Gen 7. So it's the first time we've shown that at Ceres. It got launched in September last year, and generally people have been really interested to see it. And I think a little bit of a balance between our Gen 6 and Gen 7 machine. There's been a few questions about 800 series, which we actually is just finishing production this month. So this is kind of its replacement, and that's why we brought it along, because it's, you know, those 280 horsepower tractors are what arable customers are looking for a lot, very flexible. The other machines that we've got are Fendt Cargo T740 telehandler. So really it's our launch into the telehandler market, very much more of an arable specification machine rather than our bigger machine. And really our unique point on that is the lifting cab. So we've not got it up in the air at the moment, but that's borrowed really from the waste handling industry, where the cabs lift up. So it helps you see down into the bulkers and things when you're loading.
And how high would that cab? That goes on this machine?
Yeah, on this machine here.
So that's a 7 metre 4 ton?
Yes, 7 metre 4 ton
work
machine.
It out from the numbers.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, 7 metre 4 ton machine. And the cab I think lifts somewhere between 3 and 4 metres up off the ground, so it's a fair way
12
up.
foot.
Yeah, that's it. So yeah, and then finally other items we've got on the stand. See our Fendt Ideal combine, and then our RAGT Model Year 23 sprayer. So that's the first time we've had a Model Year 23 machine working at a working demonstration in the UK. So new nozzle bodies, new spray pack, new induction hopper, so a few changes in the cab as well. So yeah, a few bits and bobs, and then obviously other more well-known machines on the stand as well. But yeah, so we've got somewhere in the region of 60 machines out now, 60 Ideal combines out working this year. Really successful, considering we started from basically nothing.
Fendt design or in cooperation with
an AGCO-based design combine, yeah.
So they've got some experience.
Yeah, so we got some experience, but basically it was designed from the ground up. It was a fresh start combine, really.
Could I borrow one in about a month's time? I don't know, for about 3 weeks or so.
Yeah, sure we intend to get over the ground fairly quickly. So.
You don't ask, you don't get.
No, we offer various different headers. This year we brought a Superflow header.
Right.
We offer like a Draper type header from Geringhoff with it, and also our Superflow header, which is an AGCO designed header. And the big difference with this over many different headers is these what we call these power flow belts.
Yep.
So they actively transport the crop up off the knife bar up onto the auger and transport it along, and the benefit of that is your crop is presented ear first into the cylinder, and you're threshing that way. All the straw is kept nice and straight through the machine.
In theory, yeah.
In theory, yes. It depends on the crop a little bit. But in laid crops, it's very good as well.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah. So
it's very different. Manufacturers have different ideas. Some of them have belts like that. Some of them have belts instead of an auger.
So this
or
is
a smaller auger at the back.
This is a more traditional type header.
Yeah.
And the other benefit is to swap between crops. You don't need to change anything. You can just change across from rape to straw, no problem. But obviously, the Draper type header would have a bendable knife bar, and they do tend to have belts that feed to the centre rather than using an auger to feed the crop.
And this is a twin rotor.
Yes, so this is a twin rotor. So our 7 is single rotor. Our 8, 9 and 10 size machines are twin rotors, which you can sort of see in the middle there. Yeah.
So this is not the biggest machine?
No. When it launched, this was the biggest, and then we've since launched a bigger machine on top of that as well.
So bigger tank capacity?
Tank capacity is the same, but more power.
Yeah.
Generally...
is that a restricting factor, do you think?
Really, it's it's when you're trying to chop straw and you've got a heavy crop and you're trying to unload all at the same time, and you've got a 40-foot header. That's when you need the power.
What
really.
horsepower is it?
So this a 90, I believe, is somewhere around 500ish.
Okay, not huge.
A 10T would be somewhere 600, 650, I think. But to be honest, we're quite full because of the design of it. It's not all about the power. A lot to do with your drive line. The drive line on this is very simple. The way the rotors work.
Thrashing as well. So
yeah, they are, and obviously
it's not a hybrid then.
It's completely rotary design. Yeah. So, but because of that and how that works, generally we don't have as high a power
Anna
requirement.
hasn't got a clue what we're talking about.
No, well, doesn't matter. Don't worry about that. Other people do.
It just looks really pretty.
Yeah, no, that's excellent. Thank you. Good stuff. No, I hope that helps.
Thank you,
yeah.
thank you. That's really, really helpful.
Nice to meet you.
So much.
All right,
Thank
take
you.
care.
Have a good
Cheers.
day.
The Horizon 3000 has a 3,000 litre battle tank, complete with sump and drain tap, and this can be operated up to 8 bar pressure when washing out. It's got a smooth white interior, and the tank is completely cleaned in the wash cycle, something that's easily checked via the Easy Tank access. Large storage compartments, meaning protective clothing and spares, should be kept on board at all times. So,
a lovely day for it, isn't it?
I know, it's lush. Are you just here all day then? You're not helping me?
I'm here all day by the looks of it, yeah. We met Derek Porter, so hello Derek. He came and said hello.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so he said he watches us on YouTube.
So funny, I said I've put little shorts on YouTube and I've put it out on Instagram, and Dad was like, wouldn't it be really funny if no one turns up?
What, just us lot?
No one turns up to say hi.
Yeah, I know, yeah. Hey, we're here at 1 o'clock and then no one.
Wap, wap, wap. Tumbleweeds.
I'm sure there'll be a couple of people turn
Yeah,
up.
hopefully. But
So
yeah.
we need a couple of fans, innit?
I know.
Systems Limited, the only company currently with an operational authorization from the Civil Aviation Authority
That drone there is
for agricultural drone operations.
What would you use that for?
They're demonstrating their large P1
Yeah, what, like that drone there? What would you use that for?
They use it for spraying.
Oh wow.
Some over at I walked past them.
This drone allows you to spread a wide range of crops,
and they've got big tanks on.
crop products,
They can take it off and
tanks,
put
nutrients,
granules on
fertilizers,
as well.
and seeds.
So they just take it. You just put a couple of clips and put
In
it.
its liquid application form,
Yeah.
tasks conducted such as greenhouse shading, seed spreading.
240 horsepower engine, and you can increase the...
Dancing Joe's got a swivel.
Yeah, we'll get you one day.
Yeah, that's what it's all about.
Get me 5 minutes later.
Yeah, I know, you never get me there 5 minutes later.
Daniel just chatted some of our favourite people at the Verges. So on Ceres machinery stand, we've just met some new people. Guys, do you want to introduce yourselves?
Hello, I'm Richard.
I'm Jessica, and they like watching our channel, so we're just having a chat with them.
James here as well.
And James, yes, hello.
Lifelong fan.
Yes.
Hi, James.
So Janice doesn't like you. Like, we hear that Daniel's voice is a bit annoying. Trust me, I feel the same when I'm editing him.
What's the
Worst thing you've ever seen happen on the farm with machinery?
I think somebody bent the back of a Basileer up. Like a brand new Basileer went out that morning, came back and it was all folded up. So whether they'd hit, I don't know what they'd hit. You know, what can you hit? You're backed into the telegraph pole or something, I think.
I've seen someone with a brand new bait straight out the first field, go straight out the gate, I've got to hold the bin.
Yeah, it happens, yeah, it does happen. Go on then, what's yours?
My worst one was putting a trailer for a shed roof.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
It does no damage to the trailer whatsoever, does
No.
it? Somebody drove up the digger and then drove it straight off the side and it gripped and rolled over upside down into the
Just had a chap come to see me from Ireland. He thinks I'm better on YouTube than you are.
Ooh, birds! Don't worry about the suntan. That's a burn. Yeah, that. Nice to see you guys. Bye, bye.
2 people turned up to see us.
I'm so happy.
Shame they didn't bring Janice with them.
I
gotta give her.
Yeah, hi Janice.
I could have cuddled her. Worked my magic.
She will love me.
Yeah, she will love me. She will love me. Good morning, Fenlanders. Day 2 of cereals. Hello, everyone. Right, okay being on film, Emily?
Yep.
And we got Big Will over here. Productive day yesterday, didn't we?
Yeah.
We all got slightly sunburnt, slightly delusional. What's new there? Just normal for us lot. Lots of interest in everything Martin makes, which is awesome. Yay! We managed to get a thimble full of diesel for the world's biggest telehandler. And Martin claims he's better on camera than I am, so he's going to take the GoPro off. Yeah, oh no, other people said that. Yeah, just blowing smoke up his bum. So he's going to take the GoPro off and give you a little tour around Ceres while I help set up his stand. Ta-da!
Good morning, Daniel.
Morning.
Good morning, everyone. We are at Ceres again. Daniel's asked me, so I've got to have a little mission and walk around, see a couple of people to give you all a little tour. First thing in the morning, we've got some new Merlots. KRM, Mateo. It's all still quite early in the morning yet, so there's not that many people on site. So the show's probably not looking at its best. Probably like my camera work, actually. Sharman's rear, very good company we use. They have some very good orange products, I believe. Look at that one for a feast. Larrington trailers. Blue Bobcats, 3 ton 6 metre. 2.5 ton 6 metre. Quite a nice little compact machine. Of course, we've got one of Daniel's favourites, Grange Machinery. Farmer's Guide probably had a heavy night by the looks of it. They're not here yet. Very good little publication.